hopefully it doesn't. I don't think it will. I like the grounded nature of a FaceTime call. That's how I feel comfortable in life. Anyway, speaking of comfort in life, after a lot of drama trying to get technology working, I'm here with Annie. Hello, Annie. How are you?
Hey.
Second time today. How are you doing?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we got the technology working. So
it was brutal for a second, but you know what?
Yeah.
It worked. It's working out, and it's refining for both of us to be patient and to work and to be like, okay, this isn't what's happening. And I feel like in this season we're all kind of in that. We gotta just go with the flow. Gotta just improv. Gotta just do what we need to do to get by. And so we had talked. Sorry, go for it. You learned what?
I learned how to put landscape on my laptop with FaceTime.
If anything today, you've learned landscape. That's good.
Yeah.
So we were talking about how you've been spending time, but that's not footage that these people have seen. So I'm wondering, how have you been passing the time in quarantine?
I have been trying to spend as much time as I can outside.
Right.
So either that's running, or walking around the neighborhood, which I've never really done.
Yeah.
I've never really walked around my neighborhood.
Have you found new things that you like in your neighborhood?
Yeah, my neighborhood has some really cute houses.
Okay.
And cute yards. Yeah, it's been fun to walk around. Yeah, and then basically like training for an unofficial half marathon, so that's pretty fun.
Okay, talk to me. What is an unofficial half marathon?
Just like gonna plan to run a half marathon on a day that...
One of these days.
One of these days.
What is that? So it's 13.3?
13.1.
13.1, sorry. I thought a marathon was 26.6. I'm wrong, though. So where are you going to run to?
So I usually run in PV on Paseo Del Mar because the streets are wide.
Yeah. I ride my bike on Paseo Del Mar all the time.
Yeah, it's so nice. It's easy to dodge cars there. Yeah, that's how I look when I run.
And do you still run barefoot?
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's why I
crazy.
have to dodge cars because I run in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Because there isn't as much debris in the middle of the street.
Yeah. Talk to us about the vision behind running barefoot.
Well, initially, I ran a full marathon with shoes. And I had some really bad like knee problems after that. And the next year I was going to train again, and I got a new pair of shoes, and I hated them. And so I just like took them off, but I still had like a mile to run.
You did this. I didn't even, mid-run.
Yeah, mid-run. I just like, I hate these shoes. So I took them off and I carried them in my hands and I ran the last mile. And then I realized that it was very nice. And so after that, I returned the shoes because you can do that with Roadrunner Sports. They have like 90 days.
Shout out.
Where, like, you can run
Shout out Roadrunner.
Like if you hate them, then you can return them.
They're our sponsors for the episode.
Huh?
They said they're our sponsor for the episode.
Yes.
But they're not.
They're my sponsor. And then I just swapped them for like the shoes with the toes, which are really ugly. But they're...
You don't buy those for fashion.
I don't buy them for fashion. But they like helps train my feet how to land barefoot.
They're functional?
Yeah, they're super functional. I just don't like wearing them for longer than like 5 miles because they start feeling weird.
Of course.
Yeah. And then I just like weaned off of those.
Wow.
And just now run completely barefoot. I run 5 half marathons barefoot now.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah.
That's nutso.
It's fun. And I've realized that so many people are more open to have conversations with me because I'm barefoot, and that's kind of weird. So some of them are not happy in their conversation. I've gotten like some pretty terrible comments from people, but also
like what? Why are people being terrible? What are they saying?
They're just like really grumpy. And they like yell at me and tell me that I'm destroying my body. And actually last week, I was running and I heard someone comment to the person they were cycling with. They were like, she's going to get coronavirus in her feet. And I was like, that's not how that works.
Okay, that was my next question. Have you been running barefoot and are people still talking to you?
Yeah, people still talk to me. That was a sad comment, but I just kind of laughed it off.
Yeah, going to get coronavirus in your feet. That's
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, that's awesome. So you've been running. You told me you've been gardening as well, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And
Been gardening.
gardening, spending time with family, watching the Bake Show, of course. Which again, we could do a whole 5-hour conversation on Bake Show. I think it's the best content, but that's just my opinion.
Good.
Are you watching
like,
Collection 1? Or are you on the beginnings, or where are you at?
I finished Collection 1.
Okay. Who were the final 3 in Collection 1?
The final 3, the winner was Nancy.
Oh, I didn't want to spoil it.
Oh, sorry.
We'll just say heavy spoilers ahead. Yeah, Nancy was great. Nancy knew exactly.
Yeah.
I think the thing I liked a lot about Nancy, and this is so inside Bake Show right now, but I like Nancy because she was very good at technical baking. She knew everything about everything. She just had a knowledge that was so wide. Anyway, that's the knowledge I hope to develop. So you've been running a lot. What is your relationship like with God during running? What do you do? What are you praying? Are you thinking? Because when I cycle, I'm not kidding you, I'll often sing. I'll sing worship songs, like especially going down a hill. I don't know, there's something about it. And so I find that I can get closer to God working out outside. But right now we're kind of asked to stay at home and be inside. So we got to make those moments outside really count. So I'm wondering, what is your running like these days, and how is it helping your relationship with God?
Yeah, it gives me just so much freedom and space to think and pray, because there's literally no roof.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like I have so much space.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't always carry my phone with me, but when I do, I'll just like blast like a really good worship song. One that's not like slow, but like a little more upbeat. Usually it tends to be like a hill song. Because like, they can be faster.
Not an old hymn that's not getting you through those miles.
No. Can't run to In Christ Alone. That's a great song.
Yeah, to worship
it's
to.
One of my favorites. Yeah,
for sure.
It gives me just a lot of space, and I do pray a lot, and I'll sometimes burst out, just like I'll just start like not like burst out, but I'll just start singing a chorus over and over again, especially when I'm like running up a hill. It's always been a really good space for me to pray, and just so there's nothing else to do when you're running,
just like hate your body and pray.
And when you're running long distances for like hours, like what else can you do?
You can pray.
So
that's awesome. That's cool. What else is God teaching you in this time?
Let's see. I feel like there's a lot that I've been especially aware of this week. I asked myself this question this morning, in regards to like, because one of the biggest questions I've been asked recently is if I'm still planning to go to Japan.
That was what I was going to ask. Yeah. So
and
just real quick, for those of you who remember, we prayed over Annie at Impact. I think maybe the last one we had, or maybe a couple before we were all done, for her to go off to Japan. And I remember you even saying, it sounds funny now, but please pray against the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And so update us, talk to us, and then answer that question for us.
Yeah. So nothing has been like canceled or just stopped. It's more on like pause. Or like slow down. They're not sending new missionaries out until July at the earliest.
Okay.
And that's for lots of reasons, like restrictions on travel and like the quarantine stuff, but also they don't want new missionaries to spend their first couple months on the mission field, like alone.
Feels counterproductive. Feels very counterproductive.
It's super counterproductive. So the new timeline is hopefully like very late August or September.
Okay.
That's the hope. It could be later than that. I don't know. But I'm not going. Good. Lord willing.
Good.
Just things are on pause right now. So the question I asked myself this morning was, do I trust God enough to put things on pause and to not be actively working towards getting to Japan.
That's
or
good.
like actively working towards other things. And just like sitting and trying to rest in this time. And spend my time in prayer. Yeah. So do I trust God enough? And I haven't answered that question yet, but I think my answer is it's not an easy yes.
Right.
But it's like I want to be able to say yes.
Totally.
That I do trust in God's time. And even though I'm not getting there as soon as I would like to be there, I know he's doing something. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's huge. And I think that's such a unique situation, obviously, but you got to think also of our students who probably in their own way asking that same question, do I trust God enough to put things on pause, right? Like graduations, prom, banquet, stuff like that. That's all kind of up in the air. And so I think what you're saying will really resonate with students. And man, I'm hoping that you can make it still.
Yeah.
I mean, when you want to at least, but
I'm praying for that.
Yeah. You also got to remember too, right? Like there's a reason that this is all happening and God isn't unaware that you are trying to go. And so there's a reason you're going when you are. And there's something that's happening here in this season that you wouldn't be able to learn if you don't go through this. So that's hard. And that takes a lot of faith to go through something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing to kind of fight against disappointment then? Because I'm imagining you're probably pretty bummed.
Yeah, I am pretty bummed. But I'm trying to just like look through everything with like a new perspective, and like fresh eyes. Yeah. And just not have tunnel vision with everything. 'Cause that's really easy to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, just like remembering that, even just remembering the scripture about like, we don't know what tomorrow will bring. And yeah, I think that's in general really hard to remember.
Totally.
But one of the ways I've been fighting against that disappointment is just remembering like, I don't know what tomorrow would bring, even if the coronavirus didn't exist.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Wow. I never thought about that.
Yeah. And there's like so much other stuff going on in the world now too. Like this isn't the only thing. So even that, just like broadening my perspective helps me. Yeah. Yeah. That's really good. To not remain in tunnel vision.
Yeah. And I hope everybody hears that. There's more things going on, A, but B, this, even if this wasn't happening, like your graduation still could get postponed. Like you could still not go to prom. Exactly. You know, these things could still happen. It just, the global equalizing of it all is so gnarly. So gnarly. Yeah. Well, Annie, thank you so much for sharing and being vulnerable and open. Really appreciate that. And again, super unique situation. So I'm really glad we got to talk. Final question, the question I ask everybody. Yes. You already said bake show, so I'm not going to let you say that again. But what's one thing, movie, book, TV show, podcast that you've been doing over quarantine that's been bringing you joy that you want other people to engage with as well?
Yes, I've been thinking about this question because I know you ask it every single time. Yes. I love audiobooks so much.
Here we go.
Yes. I've listened to 3 audiobooks, in addition to reading some other books. I've been mostly listening to it as I've been gardening, which is really fun. Yeah. Because I like listening as I'm doing something.
Of course. I'm the same way.
But yeah, it's like so much easier to pay attention when I'm doing something else. That's like kind of mindless. Yeah. So I listened to Pride and Prejudice.
Classic.
I haven't listened to it or read it before, so I've only seen the movies. Yeah. So now I'm going to appreciate the movies more because I know details. Right. I've also listened to 2 C.S. Lewis books.
Which ones? Let the people know.
I listened to the final book of the Chronicles of Narnia, The Last Battle. Yep. So good. And then I also listened to the 3rd book of his space trilogy. Oh yeah. Which is called That Hideous Strength. Yeah. But also very good.
I like I'm a big fan of C.S. Lewis fiction. obviously his nonfiction is impacted my life in innumerable ways, but I think a lot of people sleep on his fiction. So Narnia is great. I recommend Narnia. Have you read all of them before?
Yeah, I love the Chronicles of Narnia so much.
Okay, so help me settle a debate then. Is The Horse and His Boy the worst book in the series or the worst book ever written?
It's not the worst book ever written.
Okay, so it's just the worst in the series.
I don't hate it.
I hate it.
It's not my favorite book in the world, but it's not the worst book I've ever read.
It's the worst. It's not the worst book I've ever read, but it's the worst book in that series for sure.
Yeah, I'd say it's towards the bottom, maybe at the bottom.
It's the worst. What is the best? I mean, yeah, what's your favorite one?
That's really hard. Man, I mean, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is just classic.
All time.
It's so good.
All time.
I have a special spot for The Magician's Nephew.
I love I love that too.
I think that one's kind of underrated.
Yeah. That's sweet. I like that one. I'm a Caspian head myself. I think Caspian.
Don Treader?
Yeah.
Or
no, I just like any book.
Prince Caspian.
Yeah,
okay.
I like him in the Narnia series, but I like Prince Caspian a lot, and I like Don Treader.
Don Treader's so good. My favorite character is Reapy Cheep, the mouse. I just love him so much.
He's like scrappy.
Yeah,
I like that about him.
He's so like valiant and courageous.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of valiant and courageous, thank you. You are very valiant and courageous for coming on and answering questions. And I hope if anybody is listening to this, they will talk to Andy and myself about Narnia. We would love to get you started on the wonderful world of Chronicles of Narnia. Cannot recommend it enough. You have nothing but time. Read these books. They're awesome.
Yes, do it.
Do it. You're awesome. Thank you so much for jumping on and putting up with the technical difficulties. This was wonderful.
This was fun.
This was great. Enjoy quarantine. We'll talk to you later.
All right. See ya.